Hello to all my friends out there. And so I'm doing a video on what am I going to do? I don't have much money. Well, that was my whole life, so this is what I do. Okay, I have some margarine and I have some eggs. I bought these eggs at the 99-cent, no, Dollar Tree. And then I bought some bacon bits. And these bacon bits are really going to taste good in my egg sandwich. But if you don't have any bacon bits, well, you don't really need bacon bits for a fried egg sandwich. So, okay, I toasted 2 pieces of bread. And if you've been following me, you know I bought this bread as dirt cheap as I possibly could. I bought 1.5 pound loaf bread for $1. It was on sale at Food for Less. So what I do when I buy bread is I check the loaf to see how much bread does this loaf contain. And another thing about this kind of cheap food too is it prevents eating out. I think I figured these eggs cost about 14 cents each. So, okay, these are some pretty tasty scrambled eggs, and I'm just going to put some on my bread. And I want to discuss, how to come up with some cheap meals. So here is my fried egg sandwich with a few bacon bits. And I'm going to put a little bit of ketchup on my bread. That's how I make the fried egg sandwiches. Just eggs and a little ketchup. So, what I did is I poured a little milk from my creamer, which I keep in the refrigerator, into my eggs before I scrambled them. So let me just move this stuff out of the way because I want to cover some stuff, a lot of stuff. Okay, so here's the list. I'm big on lists. They save time too. Okay, one of the things I'm working on is better rice. Okay, let's say you're going to have some rice and you're going to have some beans and you're going to have some meat. So better rice. So here's 3 better rice recipes. Black beans, and I rinse those with corn and rice, Spanish rice, and fried rice. Those are 3 good rices. Okay, buy cheap food, but buy good food. This is fine. It's cheap. I bought the bacon bits at Dollar Tree. And so this is cheaper tea. I found this green tea, 100 bags for $1. So I had green tea ginger, and so I just happen to have some ground ginger. I use that when I make stir fry. So on my tea that I add spices, I use 1/16 teaspoon. So let's try a little of this. This is about a penny's worth of tea. And I'm adding my own ginger. So let's see how this is. So this is cheaper. It's a penny. That is good. So I have a little fruit. What I do is I take as much as I might want out. And so I have a few blueberries, a little sugar, and a little milk. So this is cheaper tea. And so let me taste it. If it's no good, I'll tell you. That is good. And it's cheaper than, and what I like to do is I get the blueberries or the fruit or the Red Hots in a little teaspoon of tea. Okay, that'll do. Now this is a cheap meal. And so, okay, find cheap food but good food. Find 3 cheap meals. Eat all your leftovers. Okay. Now, okay, I have my leftover. These are my leftovers. That's a taco and that's some rice. If I don't eat it, I throw it in a baggie and I freeze it. But I plan on eating it. And I keep all the small bags. That's the blueberries. I keep them in the freezer. And this is, this is my margarine. I wrap it so it doesn't pick up any odors. And I have this little bag of rice. I keep that in the freezer. Okay, so last night I have half a can of refried beans. But what I have is I have some chorizo. For this much beans, fry about 1/3 tube of chorizo, and then add the refried beans. And why this is cheaper is you don't need cheese. And then I keep flour tortillas and corn tortillas. Okay, so now this is my bread, and I'm getting kind of low on bread, but I wanted to mention, okay, I have dinner rolls I want to eat, and I have hamburger buns that I want to eat, and then I'll buy more bread. And I bought these eggs at Dollar Tree for $1. Okay, back to my list. Always have an escape plan. You know, especially if the people around you are acting kind of untrustworthy, like the last place I lived, always have an escape plan. Don't let anyone devastate you financially. And so I was saying to my son, you know, if things really, really got bad, I would move to Las Vegas where I could survive totally and completely on my Social Security. I wouldn't stay here and starve. That wouldn't be smart. Okay, 2 things. Aluminum foil. I bought these at the dollar store, the 50 yards, and I bought these baggies because these will really save your food. And then this canned milk is cheaper, and I mix it up by the cup. But I wanted to mention I never put a spoon that's not clean in my milk. And then on water, we have kiosks, and you can fill those. Okay, the last one. Go back to your roots. What did your grandmother do? Well, my grandmother always started by buying the meat first. Because if you don't have any meat, unless you're a vegetarian, you're going to be very miserable. And in the day, they wash their rags. They're cheaper than it's cheaper than paper towels. And just start looking for ways that you can constantly save money. And then I bought these chips today for $1 because the refried beans and chorizo is very delicious in chips. So I will be doing more videos on dirt cheap meals. And I did a video and I was cutting baby's hair, and I would say, okay, come on now, let's be reasonable. And they would snap out of it. You know, they were terrorized. So if you're in a bad situation, say to yourself, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. I have to think rationally. Let's be reasonable here. And so here is another shot at my list. And God bless you all.